Hi everyone. So I'm originally from the island of Aruba, and I just decided to do this. So I had to take some notes to hopefully not forget what I have to say. So I'm a wellness coach, and I've been a wellness coach since 2008. In addition to me being a wellness coach, I also, 2 years ago, took the Gospel Medical Missionary Training. So as Gospel Medical Missionaries, what we do is in time of crises, we go out there and we help the community. Never thought in my wildest dream that we will be dealing with something such as coronavirus. But let me tell you a little bit about myself, which those who are close to me know. I'm very passionate about helping people, and a lot of times I get emotional. And I'm apologizing in advance in case that happens. So as gospel medical missionaries, one of the things that we do is we go out and we help the community in times of crisis, which is what the coronavirus is. So for the past 2 weeks, I've been attending trainings on dealing with the coronavirus. And honestly, I've been planning anyway on doing some live streaming on information that will be helpful to you on the coronavirus. And I was planning on going live actually this coming Wednesday, which would be April 1st. I happened to be on a 24-hour global prayer line last night. And during that global call, I was encouraged to speed up the information that I'm sharing with you. And so literally last night during the night, and I stayed in bed and I prayed about it, and I decided to go live today. Now, most of my days are spent working on building my website. So I'm really talking to you from my heart and from the information that I know and that has been shared with me. Now, those of you who like everything to know this is who approved and disapproved, let me just let you know up front, I am not a doctor. This is not approved by the FDA if you're looking for approval from the FDA for this information. This is information that has been documented by other medical missionaries, and so we were trained based on that information. So I'm just sharing information. At this point, you need to know there's no medication. There's nothing to help you with the coronavirus. It's about you helping yourself. So basically, what I'm doing today, what I'm going to be sharing with you, and I hope to be able to do this on a daily basis. And like I said, I just decided to do this last night during the prayer line. So I'm hoping that I will be able to continue to do this I'm trying to make sure that I have the right angle so you can see me. At least for the next week or two, daily at 12 noon. If you have questions, please feel free to post your questions. And during one of my live streaming, I will attempt to answer as many questions as I can. So I told you that. Okay. So your biggest defense, and I'm sure that some of the things that I am going to share with you, some of it may not be new information. The thing about it is people are telling you you need to do this, but they're not giving you the details. So that's what I'm going to be telling you what to do. Now, granted, some of you may not, and I'll tell you the truth, like I said, I've been doing wellness since 2008. And when I got into this industry of wellness, my mentor, who happened to be at the time Dr. Alsuna Rowland, she said to me, Thelma, the human body is very simple. And so we require very simple methods to get our health back in check. The problem is that we've been so brainwashed that because the methods of healing and of building your body is so simple, people do not believe it. So I have very few people who I've told this to and who have, over the years of me being a wellness coach, who have actually listened and adhered to the principles and have seen excellent and great results. And I'm hoping that at least one or two, a few of them may come online and share their testimony. But at the end of my presentation here tonight, I will share with you a live testimony, not my own because I can tell anything so you won't believe it, but I'm going to share with you a testimony from someone that most of you on my line who know me know this person. So anyway, let me go and start telling you some of the simple things. Let me know if I'm kind of off because like I said, I am not the greatest at this Facebook Live, so I'm hoping that you can see me. Anyway, so let me tell you some of the simple things that you can do, because right now, your only defense against this thing is you. Believe it or not, what you need to do, the basic, right now I'm giving you the basic. Later down in the week as I continue, I'll give you more information. Here I go, I was tearing myself up. But for right now, I'm going to share with you some basic things that you can do right now to build yourself up. Now, some of them might be a little drastic for you, but you need to know right now is a matter of life and death, because I'm telling you, people are going down fast, and they're going down real fast. And your basic and only defense, because there's no medicine for this thing, is yourself, is you. You are your defense. And your defense, your first defense line is your immune system. And some of you know this stuff, but because we are comfortable in whatever it is we're doing, sometimes we're not willing to make a change. So the first thing that you need to do, that you need to know about building your immune system is nutrition. Now with this COVID-19, nobody should be eating any kind of meat. I don't care if it's chicken. I don't care if it's definitely no pork, no chicken, no fish, no saltfish. You know, we come from the Caribbean, so we like our saltfish, especially during this time of isolation. A lot of us are indoors. So as I go to the supermarket, and I like to make my presentation, you know, relative. People can relate to it. Okay. And so I'm going to be telling you things that you can relate to. So I'm going to the supermarket, and I try not to, and this is one of the things you have to learn to do. When you go to the supermarket, try not to be out there too much. So if you're going to the supermarket, make sure you go with a list with things that you need in enough quantity so you don't have to keep making daily trips. That's not necessary. This isn't the time for that. This is also not the time for you to be complaining about things that don't taste good, that you don't like it. If it's good for you, you need to take it. If it's good for you, you need to eat it. So I know a lot of people who do not like vegetables. I don't know why. Vegetable is your friend. Like I said, this is not the time for nobody. Nobody should be eating meat. I don't care if it's chicken, if it's fish. And some people like to say, yeah, but God ate fish. When God ate fish, he didn't eat the kind of fish that we are exposed to nowadays. When God ate fish, the fish was clean, it was healthy, and anybody could eat fish. But you shouldn't be eating none of that stuff at this point, because first of all, meat does nothing to give you. It has no nutritional substance in it. So if you're looking for nutrients, you're not getting it. So that's number one. Number two, it's bringing down your immune system. Another thing that nobody should be eating, I made a list so I don't forget, is, and like I said, as I'm in the supermarket and I'm looking at people's carts, And everybody has comfort food in their carts, and these are the things that you shouldn't be eating during this time with this coronavirus. You shouldn't be eating any of that stuff. What you need to be doing is eating foods that is going to build up your immune system. You need to not have sugary things in your cart, no kind of ice cream. Forget about the juices, and definitely no soda. Coffee, tea. Believe it or not, tea has more caffeine in it than coffee. Definitely no sugary stuff. When I say sugary stuff, I mean no cakes, no cookies. All the stuff that we like, that we feel are comfort foods, they're actually killing you. And unfortunately, like I myself, and I understand that, sometimes it takes time. We need to adjust. This is no time for adjusting. This is like drastic things. This is like when sometimes people come to us, and like I said, first statement I made, for those of you who've come on recently, I am not a doctor, but I'm just going to tell you about situations that I've dealt with as a wellness coach for the past, since 2008. So that would be what, like 12 years now? Since when, 2020? And the thing about it is, people do not like to adhere to things that you tell them because it's not what they want to hear, until they are faced with a crisis, something like a cancer. And then people will do anything. They'll do anything, and they're willing to spend any amount of money to get their health back on track. But you know what? It's going to take more money. It's going to take more time, and you're running a risk of not recovering. I'm telling you, with this coronavirus, forget about how things taste. If you don't like it, lump it. You need to eat it, because what it's going to do is build up your immune system. And it's hard to believe, this little microscopic thing that you can't even see, you got to go under a microscope to see it, has big men and women on their backs. You can't even see it. That's how powerful this virus is. So you need to take this thing very seriously. Like I said, nobody should. And later down in the week as I go, I will show you substitutes. That I'm not going to just tell you can't eat stuff. I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to show you. And people pay for this stuff that I'm telling you. So you better come on and follow me and come on daily and share it with others, because I charge people for the thing that I'm giving you for free. And so I'm going to share with you some of the substitutes that you can use instead of the things that I'm telling you that you should not be using. So forget about all the sugary stuff. You shouldn't be having any of that stuff. And like I said, a lot of this stuff you guys already know. It's just to implement them and for someone to guide you as to how to do it. I'm hoping that you can see me clearly. Trying to adjust this camera. I'm hoping that I'm coming off clear. Anyway, so and when I say sugary stuff, I don't just mean sugar. I mean anything that comes, this fructose, corn syrup things, forget about. You need to read labels. And anything that has fructose, corn syrup, just put it back down. Cookies, cakes, pies, all of those things, they are comfort foods, because right now, we're all on lockdown. You're in your house 24/7, and we're going to talk about that in another day, because I can't tell you everything today. I didn't plan on doing this, and even when it's planned, I know people has very short attention span, which is another problem. People don't want to listen. People don't want to sit still for any more than a minute or two. And all of this is what has brought us to where we are today in our health condition. And so I have to break it up in little bite-sized pieces enough and long enough so that people would listen. So all of that stuff. Instead of sugar, you can use maple syrup, you can use honey, you can use agave. Believe it or not, there's coconut sugar, and coconut sugar doesn't taste very good. Palm sugar. These are things that you should you can use instead of the sugar. The sugar is the worst thing you can put in your body. Like I said, and I understand that, for me, it took me time for me to get off some of the stuff that I'm telling you, because some of the stuff one of these days I'll share my journey with you, how I got to where I am. But, like a lot of people who are faced with a health crisis, sometimes you have to do things like right on the spot, so you just do it. But none of us, the way this coronavirus thing is going, it could be you today, it could be me tomorrow. We don't know. because this thing is multiplying and it's growing so fast and it's spreading so fast, because you could be talking to someone right now, they could be in your, and they don't even know they have it, and they can pass it on to you. So you need to take this thing seriously. And so processed food and fried food, I don't have to tell you that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that, but we go by what's easy and what's comfortable for us. So I'm going to also give you tips on things you can do to make your life easy. It's not that difficult. Controlled substances. So what are controlled substances? Things like tobacco, alcohol. My friends who were on this were laughing. They hear me say alcohol because they know. They say if she just look at the word, she'll probably get drunk. Drugs, whether it's prescribed or non-prescribed. And so let's talk about the prescribed. The reason why most people are on prescribed drugs is because, so if you've been on prescribed drugs for any long period of time, and when I say prescribed drugs, I mean medication. If you've been on any kind of prescribed drug for a long period of time, your immune system is compromised. So you have really no choice but to start doing the things that I'm telling you to do, because you're very much susceptible to contracting the coronavirus. And those who are on prescribed drugs, you know, your immune system is naturally compromised. And naturally, if we're talking about prescribed drugs, that means that you have some sort of a health challenge, whether it's high blood pressure, whether it's diabetes, whether you have some sort of a thyroid problem, or if you have cancer problem, your immune system is compromised. So you need to take this thing seriously. Trying to all of a sudden eat vegetables is, I'm gonna hopefully be able to show you ways that you can make food fun. Believe it or not, being a vegetarian it's good. When I share with my family, and I hope some of them would make comments here, when I share with my family some of the dishes that I prepare, they can't believe that there's no meat. They don't. Some of them tell me they don't miss the meat. Well, I remember, I'm going to share. I like sharing stories because this is how people relate. I like my presentations to be relatable. People relate. People can more understand when they can relate to what you're saying. So I remember I made a vegetable soup one time for my birthday at my old church. We had fellowship hour, and I decided I was going to host and only have soups. So one of the ladies, I had 3 different kinds of soups, and 2 of them had in meat, and one, because I'm a vegetarian, I didn't have any meat. She said to me, Thelma, only give me a little bit of that one, because it doesn't have any meat, I don't want too much. So I give her a little bit because that's what she asked for. When she decided to eat that soup, she called me and she said to me, because that's the last soup she ate, because the others had meat, so she couldn't wait to eat them. She said to me, Thelma, if I didn't know that soup did not have any meat, I would not have believed it. She said, I didn't even miss the meat. She said, and it tastes better than the others. I wish I had asked you for more. So I'm telling you that food prepared in a nice way, vegetarian food doesn't have to be blah. It shouldn't be blah anyway, because food is what gives you your nutrients. Food is what helps you. It's what's keeping you alive. So you have to be able to enjoy your food. Your food has to be enjoyable. It has to be something that you're looking forward to eating. I share, whether it's in pictures, and I'm going to eventually share recipes with you. I'm not just going to tell you information and not share it with you. I'm going to be sharing, but you have to bear with me. Don't think that you're going to get everything one day, because it's too much information. And hopefully by the end of this, I have my website up so I can send you, and then you can go and you could get even more information. What am I saying? There's so much information. Anyway, so let me move on to the next thing. I talk about nutrition, and usually in my wellness programs, nutrition is one of the last things that I talk about, because it's hard to get people to change the way they eat or to think about their food differently. But we're in a situation right now, we don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. You have to change the way you're eating. I'm telling you, your immune system is your biggest defense. Okay? So the next thing you need to do is get in the sun. Now, most of you here on the line are dark skinned like me, and I'm assuming that I'm speaking correctly, because those are most of my friends. Though I have I have many Caucasian friends, and so my Caucasian friends, you don't have to be in the sun as much. But for my dark skinned people such as myself, we and all of us really, because even for some reason we think the sun is our enemy in the sky. The sun is your biggest friend. Do you know the sun has antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal properties? And with this coronavirus, the sun and the coronavirus is not friends. So you need to be friends with the sun. And especially if you're darker skin, you need to be in the sun longer than the fairer skinned people because of the pigment, because of the dark melanin in our skin. It takes longer for the vitamin D to penetrate. So you need to, the darker your skin complexion, the longer you have to stay in the sun. So for those of you in the Caribbean, the ideal times are between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. For those of us in the U.S., provided we have sun, is between, I would say, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So stay in the sun. Like me, I should be in the sun probably at least for on the normal situations for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. With this coronavirus, I would say for 2 to 3 hours. And naturally, most of us don't have that kind of time to stay in the sun for 2-3 hours on a stretch. So you can break it up. You can go whether it's in 45 minutes increments, whether if it's 30 minutes increments, but the sun is your biggest defense. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Make use of the time while you're in the sun. So while in the sun, if the weather isn't bad, do some exercises, because that's one of the things I'm going to tell you. I'm telling you things that you need to do to build up your immune system. They are very simple. It doesn't cost anything. All it requires is time. And the thing about it is, because we live in such a fast-paced world, we do not take time to do the things that we need for the upbuilding of our body. But we will spend hours on Facebook. We will spend hours doing, I don't know, watching TV or watching some live or some reality show. They're not doing anything for you, especially now during coronavirus. So you need to spend time in doing the things that's going to keep you alive and that's going to build up your immune system. So these are the things I'm telling you, because that's all I'm talking about to you today, is about doing things that's going to build up your immune system. So spending time in the sun. And while you're in the sun, enjoy the pure fresh air. Now, I'm going to talk now about air. Air, the pure fresh air is what our lungs need. Our lungs doesn't need you making your house smell nice by burning these expensive, nice, fragrant smelling candles. They're damaging to your lungs. And if anything, then what you might want to do instead, invest in some good quality essential oils, get a diffuser, and that's a better option. Another problem with our, and we know that one of the things that this coronavirus attaches is your respiratory system, which is your lungs. So you need to be breathing in fresh, pure air. Ideally, you should have some plants in your home. Plants help to purify the air. And right now I'm going blank, so I can't even remember to tell you some of the plants that you can have in your house that help to purify the air, but I know peace lily is one of them. I'm going to, right now, like I said, I have so much going on in my head, I'm drawing a blank, but that's one of the plants. The snake plant, I can't remember, but anyway, I'll post it. Maybe tomorrow I'll let you know what those plants are. Crack your windows. Crack your windows no more than an inch, so that fresh air could come in and out your house, especially if you live in the Caribbean. That's easy. If we're living in the United States, even during the winter months, my windows, not all the windows, but my windows are somewhat cracked a little, so that we can get fresh air coming in and out the house. Now that's important because, you know, we breathe out carbon dioxide. So we need to, the fresh air exchange need to be coming in and out of the home so that we can get a fresh air flow. When you live in confined areas or confined spaces where there's no fresh flow of air, you could be breathing in your own bad air. And what do you think contributes all of this to sickness? All of this contributes to sickness. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, I briefly talked about, was exercise. And yes, exercise is very important. Exercise helps your blood to flow better. And with your body needs good blood flow for good health. So yes, whatever exercise, we know that especially here in New York, and especially if you live in densely populated areas such as Brooklyn and I guess Manhattan and the Bronx, it might be, in Queens and Staten Island, it's a little bit more of a suburb area. It's not country, but it's a little bit more of a suburb area. You have a little bit more space, but we still don't have that. For the most optimal space is living in the country. Most of us do not live in the country. So like I said, we need to optimize the fresh air we breathe by opening up the windows, cracking the windows a little. Be intelligent about it. Don't have your windows where someone could come in your house real easy, open to the point where they can just easily get in. But you know what I mean. You have to apply common sense. Exercise, like I said, a lot of us, if it's cold, you can't go outside really and exercise. So do whatever exercise you can do inside your house to help your blood to flow. That's important. Rest. Most of us don't go to bed on time. Most of my clients, when I have consultation with them, some of them go to bed at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and I say, what are you up doing? They don't even know what they're up doing. Why aren't you in bed on time? Your body rebuilds and repairs itself. Like I said, I don't know if I said this before when I first got on, but God, who created your body in such a way that your body can heal itself. One of the ways your body heals itself is when you are sleeping. And the ideal optimal time when your body does that is between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. So if you are going to bed at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock or midnight, you know how much you're robbing yourself of healing? Like I said, the things to build up your immune system are very simple, and because they're so simple, people don't believe them, but that's all you really need to do. So the best times, the optimal times is between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's when your body does most of its healing. So if you're going to bed later than that, you need to work on correcting that. Okay, so now water. You need to drink a lot of water. A lot of people don't drink water or enough water. And ideally, you should be drinking at least, if you're a healthy person, half your body weight in ounces. So how does that look like? If you weigh 100 pounds, none of us weigh 100 pounds, but that's the easiest example that I use. If you weigh 100 pounds, you should be, half of 100 is 50. So 50 ounces of water, if you're a healthy person. If you are a healthy person, you want to lose weight, then you would drink equal to your weight in ounces. So if you're 100 pounds, in this example, it would be 100 ounces. If you're not a healthy person, you have health challenges, especially people who have kidney problems, you're on dialysis and stuff like that, people with heart conditions, you need to follow whatever your water intake your doctor prescribes. Because and never oversaturate your body with water, because I'm sure you've heard and you know that you can drown yourself in water. So be careful how much water you drink. But one of the things that you need to do to build up your immune system is drink water. Water flushes your system. Every system in your body, every bodily function in your body needs water. I don't care what nobody tells you about drinking juice. Juice is the worst thing you can do for liquid. It doesn't help. Now, so I ask people, I says, you have people, the funny thing, people treasures their car more than they treasure their own body. And I cannot for the life of me understand that. This is really the piece of steel that sits out your house, maybe it's outside your house, or maybe it's in the garage or your driveway, and the minute you buy it, it lost so much value. But you put more value in and you invest more in that than this vehicle that has to carry around every single day, that gives you life. People do not invest in their body. People do not invest in their health. For some reason, people think that they shouldn't. And I'm saying to myself, but you must not love yourself. Because if you don't think that you are worth it, you will never see the value of investing in your health. And so I said to people, okay, so you have a car. Let's call all vehicles a car. So you have a car. Would you wash your car with juice? Of course you won't. Would you wash your car with vegetable juice? Of course you won't. You only wash your car with water. So why would you wash the trillions of cells in your body with anything other than water? I'm telling you, drink the water. Forget about how it tastes. If you don't like the taste of water, like I said, this is not the time for anybody to be worrying about what they don't like, what doesn't taste good, what tastes bad. This is not the time. This is about survival. This coronavirus is serious. It's taking down people, like I said, fast and real fast, and they have no medication. They have no remedy for it. I am telling you the remedies that you need to use to protect yourself against this coronavirus. Temperance. Now, temperance, a lot of people say, what is that? Temperance is self-control. It's a fancy word for self-control, but it's temperance. It's used as a word that's often used in the Bible, but it's temperance. I think it's used in the Bible. It's self-control. And so even the things that are healthy for you, you need to do in moderation. I have some clients, sometimes I tell them, okay, this is good for you, you need to, and then they go crazy, and I says, no, you can't do that. You can't use, even the things that are good for you needs to be done in moderation. And the things that are bad for you, you need to stay away from them. And that is what temperance is. So the things that are bad for you, the things that I told you about, the meat, the processed food, the fried foods, what else did I say that I forgot now? I'm forgetting that I'm thinking, the sugary foods, the substance, the controlled substances, all of those things, those are things that we need to stay away from. All of that falls under temperance. So you stay away from, you avoid the things that are harmful, and even the things that are beneficial, you use them in moderation. So the last thing for building your body is trust. Trust in the divine power. Trust in the one who created you. Trust that he will take you through this. He brought you here, he will take you through it. And I'm going to share a testimony with you. And after that, I will be ending. So the testimony I'm going to share with you, I'm going to pray right now that, because I'm already starting to tear up, that I'm able to finish it without really crying. So 3 days ago, my mom turned 95. Those of you who follow me saw the little celebration we had. Well, the celebration was supposed to be in Aruba. All of us were traveling from all over to come and celebrate with her 95th birthday, which is a blessing. But a little over a year ago, we didn't think that day was possible. Last year, January, I ended up going to Aruba because we got a call that our mom was really sick. I'm going to put it like that. She was really sick. She was ready to go. None of us thought, and none of us, all of us, there's 6 of us. We have 1 brother and there's 6 girls. None of us, we never really said it amongst ourselves, this might be it, but we all thought about it. So naturally, I went down. I was the first to get down there. The people who was helping us take care of our mom, she said, we got a call and she said, your mom can't even walk. Your mom can't walk. She's not eating. She's eating, but she doesn't really want to eat. I got there, and after giving her her kiss and hugging her, I asked, I had to figure out a nice, how I was going to say this. So I said to her, I said, Mommy, do you want to be around? She didn't answer. It's not that she couldn't talk. I guess she chose not to talk. I don't know what it was. She shook her head and she said, you see, if a person doesn't have the will to live, no matter what what method of wellness, or how much wellness, how much herbs, how much vitamins you give that person, it won't work. The person has to have the will to live. She said to me, yes. Now I'm going to tell you what I did. Now, then she wasn't quite, because that was January, so it was 2 months before she turned 94. So I'm telling you how a 93-year-old woman, now I've got to tell you about her health status. My mom has a pacemaker. She's on blood pressure medication. She's on a medicine she's a diabetic, so she's on medicine for that. She takes insulin. My whole life growing up, my mother has always had, and I didn't know at the time what it was, is eventually I learned that my mother has thyroid problems. Throughout my whole life, my mom has had, I'm going to say at least 3, but I know it's more. My mom has had many surgeries on her thyroid. So her health is very compromised. So I got there, and the first thing I did after she said yes, I went in the kitchen and the first thing I did was pray. The first thing I did was pray. The trust in divine. I'm going to go through all of these 8 things that I tell you that you need to do that's free. Okay. That's the first thing I did. Next thing I did, I went in the kitchen and I saw what food they had for her to eat, and I immediately jumped in the car. I went to the supermarket and I bought real food for her. When I say real food, I brought produce, I bought greens, I brought vegetables, look, she's diabetic, so she can't eat too much sugary fruits, but you need the fruits. So I bought fruits, but bearing in mind that, fruits that are not too sugary, so low glycemic. So I bought those things. Before I went to the supermarket, I gave her water to drink because I know she doesn't drink water. She has water. She has good water to drink, but she doesn't drink it. So I gave her. That's the first thing I did. After I prayed, I went and I gave her water. So we touched on trust in the vine. We touched on water, and now I'm going to nutrition. Like I said, before I even got to Aruba, we were told that my mom wasn't even walking. I went to the supermarket. I got the stuff. I came home and I started cooking her a simple vegetable broth. I gave her the broth to drink later on that night. And before she went to bed, I did a poultice. I'm not going to go over poultices with you guys, but I did a poultice. And so I did a poultice and she went to sleep. And I gave her water throughout the night, and I continued doing whatever I had to do. The next morning, I did it again. I'd continue giving her, applying what I think. And the next thing, the other thing, well, she was in bed. She couldn't walk. So I have to say thank you at this time. Before I forget, I'm going to say shout out thank you to Nurse Myra. I can't remember her last name, but she's from Curaçao. She lives in Aruba. And she's a Seventh-day Adventist nurse. And every day while I was there, she would come straight from work and help me. All the wellness coach, I didn't know how to work with anybody in a wheelchair because, like I said to you, she couldn't walk. No, she needs to bathe. I didn't know how to get her from where she was sleeping to the bathroom to bathe her. I didn't know any of that stuff. So I was grateful for this lady. And I want to pause again and thank again for the second and for the umpteenth time. I can't stop thanking you, all the Adventist families in Aruba, the members, the church members who were so instrumental in helping and looking out for our mom while none of us were there. And so the next day, in 2 days, I looked at my mom. Remember, I said to you, you have to have the will to live. I said to my mom, I said, what I want you to do, because by then I had done 2 poultices. Now, the reason why she couldn't walk is because her blood wasn't flowing. So I had to get that blood moving. I'm telling you guys who don't like to drink water, all the things that I'm telling you is simple things that you can use. Her blood wasn't flowing because, number one, she doesn't drink enough water. So once she started to drink water, I knew that that would get the blood flowing. So I knew by then she should have been able to walk. And that's one of the reasons why she couldn't walk, because the circulation was just not going to the foot. So once we got the blood flowing, I said, what I want, this was by the 2nd day now, I'm down there now for 2 days. I said, what I want you to do, I want you to slowly move your foot from the bed to the ground. She did that. She did that, and just so happened, it happened just before the nurse came. And when the nurse came, I told the nurse got excited. And she said, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. So she held my mom on one side, and I held her on the other side. Mind you, I was also doing the poultices. I was doing the poultices nonstop. So we got her to walk. We got her to walk to the bathroom. And so that's so we were able, instead of them having to, I don't know how they were doing it before, but we got her to walk to the bathroom, was able to take a shower. In the meantime, by that 2nd day, my brother, who's ingenious, he's something else, he knows everybody all over, he got somebody to come. We had to crack the uplift, or whatever you want to call the rising in the shower area, to prevent the water from coming out. He broke that down so we can get the wheelchair to go in easily. He went in the front of the house, he built a ramp. He went in the kitchen in the back of the house to build another ramp so my mom could go out in the yard, because I told them she needs to go out in the sun. She needs fresh air and she needs sun. So even though she was in a wheelchair, that doesn't mean that you can't benefit from the sun and get fresh air. And another thing is that a lot of people in the Caribbean, they don't open up the windows. I say, you have all the benefits here. Open up the windows. So I open up all the windows so fresh air can come in. So by the next day, after that guy came and put down those ramps, we had to call him and tell him that he now had to come and remove the ramps. You know why? My mom was walking. You saw, now last year, November, I was in Aruba last year, November. This was in January. So now November is 10 months later. I was in Aruba and I did workshops with the St. Nicholas Adventist Church in Aruba for like a week. My mom was by my side everything. She was like my manager. And the reason why I wanted to do that, I wanted to teach them and I wanted to show them the things that I did, because I knew, they're not going to admit it, but I know most of them, or not all of them, were really thinking that the next time we see Sister Kingsale, we're going to be at her funeral, because that's where she was heading. Now, I'm telling you all this because if a 90, and I'm not going to say that I did it, because it was God that did it. If a 94-year-old woman could bounce back, build up her immune system and bounce back, what's your excuse? I'm telling you the things because every single thing that I tell you here to do is what I did with her. I'm not telling you anything that I don't do. This is exactly what I did to her. All these 8 things that I'm telling you to do, that's free, doesn't cost you anything. It's just time, and it's just a mindset and changing the habits, the bad habits you have now, changing them. I'm going to tell you another short. This one is very, very short. My mother was exposed to the coronavirus in Aruba 2 weeks ago. But you know what? God has protected her. My mom has no symptoms. This is 2 weeks ago. Trust in divine power. I'm telling you, you need to trust in God. So let me review the 8 steps again, the 8 things that you need to do. Nutrition. Get rid of all. Forget the fact that you just spent money and buying the ice cream, the cakes, the big chunk of meat. Forget it. It's not going to do you anything at this time. This coronavirus is not easy. It's not easy. It's taking people down, like I said, fast. It's all you need to do, forget about how much money. If you can take it back to the supermarket and they will give you back your money, if that's your worry, then take it back. Maybe they'll give you back your money. But don't put it in your system because it's not going to help you. You're inviting the coronavirus because you're weakening your immune system. So it's nutrition. It's going out there and getting some sun. I'm telling you, you need the sun. The sun is not your enemy in the sky. The sun is your friend. Pure air. You need the fresh air. All these tightly enclosed homes that we're living in that we think it's so airtight so we can live in these air-conditioned homes is not good. It's not healthy. Anybody who knows me will tell you that Thelma doesn't like air condition. I don't like a fan, but if I have to choose between the both of them, I will pick the fan. And I could be sweating here in my house in the summertime. I prefer to I prefer to take all the showers and wipe myself down. But I don't really have I don't use air conditioners and fans. I'll be honest with you, I do not. I don't care how hot it is. I will drink water. I will take showers, but that's not what I do. And this is for years. This is nothing new. Exercise. Move your body. When you exercise, you move the blood. You move the blood. And you get fresh blood. Rest. Go to bed early. There's no need for you to be up all 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and you don't even know what you're up doing. That doesn't even make sense. Get to bed. Get to bed so your body can do what it's supposed to do naturally, which is building and helping your body to renew itself. I talk about rest. I talk about water. You need to drink enough. Make sure you drink the water that you need to drink. Temperance. Avoid all that's bad. And even the things that are good for you, you need to use them in moderation. And lastly, trust in divine power. A lot of us are on our knees, some of us like never before. And sometimes God has to, and I'm not saying this is God, but sometimes things happen in order for us to re-examine ourselves. If you have any questions or you're not sure about something, you could post your questions here. And I will attempt to answer them tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to try to start another live watch at 12 o'clock. I'm going to try and see for the next 2 weeks at least. I won't promise 2 weeks. I will promise at least a week to have some information that will help you and teaching you the things that you can do right now to protect yourself against coronavirus. Because like I said to you, there's no remedy. There's no remedy. So you need to fight for your life. And I'm telling you that, especially if you live in New York, in the densely populated areas, you need to fight for your life. So I'm sharing with you the things that you need to do, the things that you can do right now. Doesn't cost you anything. All it requires is time. And a lot of us, we have all the time in our hands because we're in isolation. We can't go nowhere. Use the time wisely. Use the time wisely. So tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, but if you have questions, please list your questions and I'll answer them sometime. If not, if the ones that I can't answer I'll start making a list of questions that you have because I may not be able to answer all of them. Some of them might, as a matter of fact, maybe one or two of the sessions might just be on answering questions. I don't know. But right now, I wanted you to know the things that you have to do right now because step number 1 is you building up your immune system and protecting yourself. That's the most important thing. That's what you have to do right now. And so, like I said, I was planning on going live on April 1st, and I was encouraged to go live earlier because this thing is taking down too many people. And I said, I don't have that kind of time. And so I needed to get this information to you right away. I thank you for listening. I thank you for taking the time to listen. And I pray and I hope that you will try to, there are 8 things that I told you to do. If you can't do 8 of them, at least do half of the 8. But definitely, please, 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 the most important thing is the food that you're eating, what you're putting in your body. Okay? The food that you're eating, and make sure you're drinking water. And then just ask God to help you because I know it's going to be a little bit of a challenge trying to change the way you're eating. Like I said, right now is not the time for you to be worrying about changing anything. I can't change it. I can't eat this and I can't. In, you don't have that kind of time. You don't have that luxury. You really don't. You really don't. I have been eating. Do I look like I am? I am weak and like no. I eat very well without meat. So eventually, I think one of the shows, one of the programs that I'm going to share with you might be, I don't want to say a cooking class, but it might be in the kitchen, showing you little different things that you can do as substitutes so that you can enjoy your meal. Your meal has to be enjoyable. It has to be fun. It has to be something that you're looking forward to because that is what's going to give you strength. And again, please, 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 you have any questions, post them here. And I look forward to connecting with you the rest of the week. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.